everyone, and welcome back to Creation Myths. In this video, we are going to see Dr. Rob Stadler, who I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go with 90% sure he's a young Earth creationist. He's cagey about it, but he uses all young Earth arguments, so I'm 90% sure he's a young Earth creationist. Anyway, in this video, we're going to see Dr. Rob Stadler very directly contradict himself, and I think it's worth pointing out for three reasons. First, obviously, because it undermines his argument, which is based on his book, which is all about what constitutes high confidence evidence or high confidence science. Second, because it's kind of funny, and I like when creationists say things that are kind of silly, and it's funny when we point them out. Sorry, Rob. And third, and I think most importantly, because it illustrates this thing that creationists do, where they just kind of like pluck the best argument they could think of in the moment and go with that without worrying about internal consistency. That's something you can spot all over the place in creationist argumentation once you know to look out for it. So I'm going to show you a bunch of clips and we're going to play Spot the Difference. This all goes back to the video that Dr. Stadler did with Dr. James Torr that they released on March 24th, 2025 on Dr. Torr's YouTube channel. And then Erica Gutsa-Gibbon and Professor Dave and I recorded a review of that video, and we all released that in April of 2025. Now, the first clip I'm going to show you is from that video where we're responding to Dr. Stadler's directly observable criterion for what he calls high confidence science. And again, this goes back to his book that's about the scientific approach to evolution is what it's called. So here's what we thought about that. Do you share a gene or not?
Were you there? Did you
Right,
see
like
all of history?
The structure of that pattern that provides the testable, directly observable evidence for universal common ancestry.
And also the entire field of paleontology.
Yeah, right. He falls into this trap. It's literally if a person doesn't actually physically see it with their eyes, it doesn't count. And like, okay, great, congratulations. Like, toss out paleontology, astronomy, archaeology, like, forget about it. Now, this next clip is what Dr. Stadler said about what you just saw in a video where he and Dr. Torr responded to our video. So this is from June 7th, 2025, and it's responding to that little bit you just saw. So check this out.
The directly observable criteria here, this one might be a little more subtle. And I'm not trying to say here that you literally have to see it with your own eyes, although that's probably the most confident of the results, right? But the more directly you measure a result, the greater the confidence you give. But the people who have rebutted us took this to kind of an extreme, and I'm afraid other people might do that as well.
He falls into this trap. It's literally if a person doesn't actually physically see it with their eyes, it doesn't count. And like, okay, great, congratulations. Like, toss out paleontology, astronomy, archaeology.
Okay, you can see what happens when you take that to an extreme.
Okay, so the idea there, we're being a little bit over the top. We're taking what he said too far. You don't literally have to see something with your own eyes for it to count as high confidence evidence, according to Dr. Stadler. Except after Erica and Dave and I did another response later in June of 2025, Dr. Stadler came back with a video on July 20th, 2025 that included the clip I'm about to show you. See if you can spot how it differs from what we just watched.
To see if humans and bacteria share genes from a common ancestor, meaning you're giving a reason why they have common genes, that they came from a common ancestor. In order to prove that with confidence, you've got to find that common ancestor, and you've got to watch it evolve prospectively, directly looking at what it's doing, handing off genes to bacteria, handing off similar genes to an evolved human that comes from the same lineage, and then you've got very convincing evidence. I hope everybody can see there's quite a dramatic difference there.
Now, I want to make sure we're all clear about this, so let's put those two clips side by side. Let's just directly compare them.
The directly observable criteria here, this one might be a little more subtle. And I'm not trying to say here that you literally have to see it with your own eyes. You're giving a reason why they have common genes, that they came from a common ancestor. In order to prove that with confidence, you've got to find that common ancestor, and you've got to watch it evolve prospectively, directly looking at what it's doing, handing off genes to bacteria, handing off similar genes to an evolved human that comes from the same lineage. And then you've got very convincing evidence. I hope everybody can see there's quite a dramatic difference there.
And one more time, just the key lines, real short. Let's just put those next to each other and see how they compare. It's literally if a person doesn't actually physically see it with their eyes, it doesn't count.
And I'm not trying to say here that you literally have to see it with your own eyes. You've got to find that common ancestor, and you've got to watch it evolve prospectively, directly looking at what it's doing.
I genuinely don't know what to do with that. That is a work of art. Here are the two quotes. In the first video from June, he said, "I'm not trying to say here that you literally have to see it with your own eyes." That's the direct quote. And then in the next video, the one from July, he says, direct quote, "You've got to find that common ancestor and you've got to watch it evolve prospectively, directly looking at what it's doing." It's not often that you see someone just say opposite things like that. Now remember, I point this out because, yeah, it's funny. Like, it's funny to see that side by side like that. We can all laugh about that. But also, and more importantly, because this is not an isolated thing. A hallmark of creationism is the lack of a coherent, integrated model. There's no big picture, there's no theoretical framework, it's all just a series of ad hoc arguments that can be mixed and matched however the moment demands. And then the next week you just swap in something different because that's what's convenient in that moment. And sometimes what you said one week is going to be contradictory with what you said the week before. That's just how it works when there's no coherent, overarching theoretical framework. So you get things like genomes are breaking down under the weight of genetic entropy. And also the human genome is 100% functional. Every mutation achieves fixation, and that's how we know mitochondrial Eve was 6,000 years ago. But also most variation is due to recombination, not mutation. Of course, you don't have to literally see something with your eyes for it to be high confidence evidence. That would be silly. Except you literally need to see bacteria evolve into humans to have high confidence in common ancestry. It's all the same playbook, but it's rarely as clearly illustrated as Dr. Statler did for us here, and that's why I'm showing it to everybody. I don't think I need to say any more. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to do the algorithm-friendly